Away we go with the first match of match day 3 from week 3 of the FIVB Women's Volleyball Nations League. Korea in red, having had the serve, looking for the first point. Germany in white, doing some desperate defending, and it's going to be a carry. Well, double touch called, in fact, against Lee Dae-jung. She can't quite believe that. Germany don't care, they've got the first point, and now they have the serve. Gerties with the serve. Good leave. Kim Hee-jin over the top of the block, but not finding court. Gerties will go back for her second serve. Good up from Lee Dae-jung. Germany with a good opportunity here, go through the middle. Unfortunately, though, Grunding couldn't have a good swing on it. No one got real control of this rally just yet. Might be a chance now, though. But it's a massive block for Germany to shut down Korea's captain. They flooded the middle. And first block of the game's a monster block. There was nowhere really for the captain to go. And whilst we're busy watching that little replay, Germany have just got themselves a service ace. What a start. Monster block and an ace. It's 4-0 Germany. Korea, though, not happy that that ball was in, so they're challenging the decision. Doesn't look convinced, does he, Lavarini?
Okay.
Looks can be deceiving. Putting on his poker face. Oh, well, he was right to challenge. It was out. Now he puts on his I told you so face. Correct challenge for Lavarini. And so he still has 2 left. For those of you new to volleyball, new to the way the Volleyball Nations League works, the coaches have a couple of challenges per set. They can challenge the likes of ball in, out, block touch, net touch, foot faults, ball up, ball down. And if they get the challenge wrong, they lose it. If they get the second one wrong, they lose that, have none left. If they get their challenges right, they keep them. And the points just keep coming for Germany at the moment. Grunding with the serve. Kim Hee-jin, good turn to the line. She was facing cross, just turned in the air. And as she did so, that opened up the space for her to swing on that ball away from the block of Hannah Ortmann. Good dig by Gerties. Ortmann being asked to do a lot. A little too much with that one. Lippmann was an option, but Van Kader deciding not to use her at any point in that rally. Korea take the point. Now it is Park Yeon-jin with the serve. Nice block. Germany get their side out courtesy of their defense in the end. Schertzel out early, looking up with Lippmann, but Lippmann had that line covered. Good covering by Schertzel. Nice up by Oh Ji-young. Not a bad effort from Lippmann. That's good use from Ortmann. Always tricky close to the net like that. Oh dear, Hanke decided to go over on 2. She was very, very good match day 1 against Brazil, swinging on the ball when she had the opportunity, was in the front row, scored 5 points from doing that. Not often the setters have that many swings in a game. That one, though, one she won't want to see again. It's a very good serve from Kim Hee-jin. Opportunity here for Korea to get level. Free ball, another chance. And a good block out. Lee Jua getting that one off of Altman and away. Korea have leveled things up in this first set. Well played by Korea. Got herself a free swing because the blocker jumped early with the setter. It's gone down as a super spike. Nice dig. Net touch against Korea, so all that hard work coming to nothing. Germany edge in front. Schertzel back to the serving line. Germany know that Korea are going to defend well. They'll get a lot of ball into transition. But they mustn't panic, they mustn't try too hard in terms of when they're spiking the ball. Just have to do their normal thing, just play their normal game. Pass well, put Korea under pressure, which is what they've just done from the serving line. And into the technical timeout, Germany leading by 2 in this first set.
We are letting the ball here. We cannot take risk. We must put the ball little closer. As we can attack. Rotation line is better letting Pio here. It's better because they have their serve strong.
So, ich kann oder 10-mal Louis, machen wir Mitte 10-mal Louis. Ja, warum nicht? Okay, los.
What Lavarini was saying there, and that what he was just showing, and he was talking about Pio, that was rotation 1, so that's when Pio is in that position, and he's saying because of the strong serve of Germany, the best option is to set the ball behind to Pio to get their side out. All of that being said in English, being translated into Korean, bearing in mind that Lavarini's first thoughts are in Italian, then he's translating to English. That's then being translated to Korean. It's an incredible dynamic going on in timeouts for Korea. Top swing from Denise Henke. That's a much better swing from her than the one she had earlier on, where she tipped it out of play. Schertzel with the serve. Oh, we don't see that very often. Lee Jua has won a point for her team and didn't even have to jump. That one's not coming back. First ace serve for Korea. Second swing, second point for Louisa Lippmann. Lippmann now moves into the front row as Denise Hanke goes back to serve. Strong rotations now for Germany with 3 attacking options in the front row. Good pick up from Durr. Good pick up from Jiong. This is where Germany will look to make it count, and they do. That's a brilliant swing. Lippmann with that super spike. You can tell how hard she hit that ball because it's left Oh Jiong clutching her wrist. Pyo Seung-ju had gone the wrong way. So we have a look at the earlier part of that point before it got into transition. That's good work from Pyo Seung-ju to get the side out. Germany holding on to their lead. The average spike speed for women's volleyball up in the 110 kilometre an hour, but depending on who's hitting, could be anything up to 120 kilometres an hour. Germany's block doing well yet again to deny Kim Hee-jin. Kim Hee-jin currently in minus points in terms of effectiveness. She's only got 1 actual attack point. That was the one she hit down the line earlier in the set. That goes down as a continuation. Well read by Durr. Lippmann, another belter from her. That's another super spike from Lippmann. Timeout called by Korea.
The libero will be to the tip, so if we tip must be crossed in 3. But we must play versus the block. If we don't put the high ball closer to the net, we cannot play versus the block. Our attack from far from the net is slow, they dig easily. We must put the ball closer.
Good covering from Gerties. That's always the danger that Korea have to face here. Lippmann's gone and hit 2 super spikes in a row, absolutely crushing the volleyball. Korea then expecting her to do the same again, and they're all very deep. And as a result, that tip is not defended. Great pickup from Durr. Kim Hee-jin has missed the block. I sometimes wonder, looking at how Korea are playing and the way that they play, number 10, the captain, Kim Yong-kung, is frozen out of the game an awful lot. Has the ability to play in the opposite slot. Might be more effective playing for a country as an opposite player, given that they have Pyo Seung-ju and rising star in number 15, Kang So-wee, who can play effectively through the outside. It would certainly give more attacking options for Korea. It's an illegal attack by Korea. So what they've done here is they've jumped up to block the ball, reached over on the side of Germany, touched the ball, and they're not allowed.
Absolutely not.
And Kim is saying to the referee, well, hold on, she played the ball on our side of the court. And the referee says, no, she didn't. So we go into the second technical timeout. Germany lead by 6.
Diese Intensität mit Block und Abwehr, die ganze Zeit halten. Position nehmen, Angreifer lesen, Schulter nacharbeiten. Position 4. Große Shopping. So.
공격이 제일 문제예요 지금.
So find a way to attack a quicker ball.
저보다 빠른 거
Or play more versus the
아니야
block.
블럭을 시키세요.
Tipp, Wind auf jeden Fall nach innen reißen. Ja, Sie haben mit Position 1 ist hier, Position 6 ist meistens hier, Position 4 und 5 sind hier. So diese Zone, medium, schnelle Bälle, lang hier reißen ist gut.
When you move in the positive situation, in this situation, not here, here is not.
All teams have a captain in volleyball, and the main role of the captain, and if you are a coach and you have, say, a young team, then your captain primarily should be picked on the basis of the player who absolutely knows the rules inside out and back to front, because the captain is the only player who can talk to the referee. So if there is a decision, like we just saw that Kim wanted to talk about, she needs to know the rules and able to be able to question the referee about them, because if you have a player who doesn't know the rules, then sometimes there'll be opportunities or issues that can arise because you don't know them. So primarily, when you have a young team, it's not your best player necessarily, it's your player who knows the rules. And the captain can be a middle, any player except for the libero, because the libero is not on court the whole time, and so they're not allowed to be captains. And what happens is, if the captain is off court, then you have to name a player to be the captain on court so that they can have dialogue with the referee when required. Captain's role, as we saw at the start of the game, to do the coin toss, to check the score sheet, to sign the score sheet, and then also to sign the score sheet at the end of the match as confirmation of the results. And the captain for Korea coming in with a very big swing cross court, a super spike for her. Good covering from Menkader once again. And Lippmann gets that one off of the block and down. Germany really are playing very well in this first set. They've got full control of what's going on. They're reading really well what Korea are doing in attack, getting the ball into transition and then taking their opportunities. That time the tip just too good, despite Lippmann getting a touch on it. But it was shown early, the hand was up and in front early, there was never a hard hit coming. Lippmann just couldn't quite react quickly enough. Substitution for Korea. Off has gone Lee Dae-young, and in her place has come number 22, Jeong Ji-eun. So no setter on court at the moment for Korea. And now Kim Hee-jin may well go off, so that number 6 An Hae-jin can come in, or it's going to be Lee Dae-young coming back onto court. In fact, it is the second part of the double substitution, so An Hae-jin has come in and the opposite player, Kim Hee-jin, has gone off. Setter now in the back row for Korea. They're in rotation 1. Setter at position 1. That's a good serve. That might not, well, it will come back, but it's free ball here for Germany. 2 front row attacking options, 2 back row, and it's hammered off the block by Schertzel and away. Great to watch when you have a free ball situation. Take your eyes off the ball from them, just watch the movement of the players. Germany had 4 players all moving, and it was just so much pressure on the 3 blockers of Korea. Kang Soo-hee just having a brief moment on court for Pyo Seung-ju, who's now back on. Oh, that's a good serve. That one's not coming back. That's an ace serve for Ortmann. Well, there was some doubt of whether she would play this game, and she's a little bit poorly. But not showing any signs of it here. Great serve from her. Timeout called by Korea. 10-point lead for Germany.
Much more in this area. So be ready, starting deep, go forward if the ball touch the net now.
네트 맞으면 언니가 들어가셔서 같이.
Now is a moment that they have 20 points forward ahead. So when we serve, if they have perfect pass, it's the moment that they will try with the middle blocker. So pay attention.
Just talking about the fact that Germany's number 12, Hannah Ortmann's a little bit poorly. When you have a team sport like this, when you're travelling together, if one player gets ill, if you don't take the right precautions, that illness can circulate the team very, very quickly. And one thing you never do, ever do, is share water bottles. It's an absolute no-no in team sport, because that is one of the quickest ways that you're going to get poorly if someone's not quite right. And particularly for team sports as well, where you have specialist footwear, when you're traveling around the world, your footwear should go in with your hand luggage. You can always play in different kit, you can always play in somebody else's, borrow some shirts and shorts, but finding a pair of shoes that fit can be very difficult. You certainly wouldn't want to play in anybody else's shoes. And you'll find that all players will travel with their shoes in their hand luggage and their knee pads. Played again by Germany. And then depending on the level of the teams, depending where you're travelling, you also take your match kit with you in your hand luggage, just in case someone's luggage goes missing. Because actually finding match kit at short notice can be difficult. Set point now for Germany. Barber's come on court, stopped the ball from going out, but didn't stop it from hitting the floor. Barber having come on to replace Gerties in the back row for passing duty in defence. And now the serve for Lee Jua. The dig. Gerties had kept her place on court, and it was Ortmann who's taken a bit of a breather. And Barber can't make the dig, so a second set point saved by Korea. The last thing Germany want to do here is let Korea get any momentum or rhythm to take forward to the next set. They want to get off this rotation right now, get this side out, get the set one, and get ready for the second set. Gerties can only volley it in. Oh dear, a little bit of an issue for Korea, as they're unable to have a swing. They might have one now though, but it's just a tip picked off by Der. Nice dig by Kim. Only Lippmann available, but that's not the only person available, because Hanke has gone up and had the swing. Germany take the point, and they've taken the set here. 25-15 against Korea. Great start for Germany. Just a momentary lapse for Germany towards the end of that set. When you're 10 points up, it's easy to switch off, thinking, yeah, we got this one done. Korea sneaking a couple of points to make the score look just that little bit more respectable. But overall, Germany completely dominated that first set. Schertzel through the middle with 5 points, 4 attacks and 1 block. Whereas the middles for Korea, just Jung Ji-eun had 1 swing and that was it. So tough serving from Germany, putting Korea under pressure, forcing them to go wide. Germany then getting their blocks up, well disciplined, well formed, and creating opportunities to get the ball in transition themselves. Fantastic job for Germany, Not so much for Korea. Here are the highlights from that first set. Here are the stats from that first set. Korea not even getting his double figures with their attacks. Germany with a good spread of attacks, blocks and service aces. 3 aces, that's very good for them. And 3 blocks, nothing for Korea. It was Germany serving. That seemed to undo Korea. They'll be looking for more of that. Good news for Korea, in so much as the captain, Kim Yong-kun, stays on court. 3 points for her from the first set. Lee Jua had 4 points. Park Yeon-jun, and he picks number 14, didn't get any. Second set underway, and it is Jennifer Gertes with the serve for Germany. They lead by 1-0 over Korea. And it's an unforced error to get things going. Park Yeon-jin was up early, had the swing, didn't get the wrap on the ball to bring it in. However, Stefano Lavarini says, I think there's a block touch, so we're going to challenge that. I want to have a look. If you're just switching on and tuning into the VNL for the first time in 2019, you will be familiar with the challenges if you was watching last year, and also World Championships and so on with the challenge system. One thing you may not be familiar with is the change, as that one hasn't touched anybody, to the refereeing. The lines judges now have been reduced from 4 people to 2. They're called end court judges. They stand at the end of the court in the middle once the rally's going, and their primary job is to look for those touches. As for the ball in out, that's the first referee's job now. Not much help coming from the end court judges because they're not in a good position to see. Just got a little glimpse there, the end court judge showing that the ball was touched. They raised the flag and put their hand on the top of it to show that there was a touch. Korea have the point. Works her magic, frustrating Kim Yong-kun. Schutzelt gets ready to serve, jump float. Oh, good touch. Great swing again from Lippmann. Deep into the corner, Lee Dae-jung in the right place, but it was just too hot to handle. That brings up 8 points now for Lippmann, all of which have been in attack. Good dig by Gertes. Oh, what an angle that is, but it's not made the court. It looked like it was in. Going for the swing from position 4 to 4. Too much on that, so Korea have the serve. Back to within 1. So an ace for Korea, and just like that, they're back on level terms. That's a very good serve, right into the danger zone. Great pickup by Lee Dae-jung. Standard pickup for Gerties. And that one does go 4-4 from Ortmann this time. Really good swing from her. A super spike. Now taking away that cross-court angle. Unforced error by Germany, touching the net. That ball was a little too far towards position 4 for Lee Dae-jung to really be effective with the accuracy of the set to go behind to Lee Jua. She was off the net, struggling a little bit. Hence didn't find the court, so Germany it is who have the lead. Ortmann now to serve. Some of that sting taken out by the top of the net. Pick up from Kim Hee-jin. Still not quite going right for Kim Yeon-kung. This time she's followed through and touched the net. Opportunity here for the captain to make something happen, make it difficult for Germany, maybe even get an ace. Unfortunately, that's not going to be the case. Touch, and again, and well kept in play by Gerties. Well, that was nicely done. Really good set that from Lee Dae-jung. You could see the way from the angle that she had that ball and has moved her shoulders and hands very quickly to set it for the pipe. And then Kim Yeon-kung with a no-look hit to the corner. Definitely Germany's big guns that are making all the waves at the moment into the first technical timeout, and as we were in set 1 actually, Germany leading by 2.
With the middle blocker is always live. In the other situation. Timing here in 2 because we are jumping too early. You have much more.
2 Block oder 3 Block an den Ball sieht, okay? Gut, los!
Lippmann had a rest on match day 2, scored 30 points on match day 1 against Brazil. Such an influential and important player for Germany in the opposite slot. Plays her volleyball in Italy for Firenze. An influential player for them. And really leading by example here for Germany. 9 points already she's scored. best attacker, 99 points coming into this match so far in the VNL. Germany have done well, they've got a chance here, and they take it. There's a challenge coming. They think there might have been a net touch during that rally, so even though the whistle's gone, it was one of those ones where...
During the rally.
Yeah, so this is what they're saying. They think that Germany made a net fault during the rally. Now, Stefano Lavarini was very quick to say to the second referee, challenge, 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 net touch. And it's just before the last action. So they're going to have a quick look and see if there was a net touch when Germany put up that block just before the Germany then got it recycled and had a swing. If Lavarini had waited until the whistle had gone and then wanted to challenge that net touch, he wouldn't have been allowed to, because once the whistle goes, it's only the last action you can challenge, i.e. whether the ball hit the block, whether the ball landed in or out, or whether the ball perhaps caught the antenna first before the block. That was something that might have happened.
Net touch number 11, small one.
You can see why Lavarini wanted the challenge. He'd seen the net fault by Lippmann. Gerties had got the ball into transition, so it's a successful challenge again for Lavarini.
Yes.
And also the value of
Because it doesn't have time to do it.
having Hawkeye. And,
Like you did last night.
now that's interesting. Kozlovsky's just saying, did he press the button for that? Which is what you're supposed to do. But what he did was he said, because of where he was, he'd asked the second ref. So the second referee was aware of the challenge. You are supposed to use your technology to call for a challenge. Very good swing from Grundig through the middle. Hanke was kind of waiting for somebody else to get that ball to her. She stood watching. Ortmann couldn't get it. Just makes you wonder whether or not Hanke should have gone after it. It was a little bit too far away. She was never going to get it. Neither, for that matter, was Ortmann. Korea are back to within a point. Pyo Seong-ju with the serve. Oh, that's lovely. Caught a piece of the block, hand landed in. Great swing from Ortmann. Grundig now for Germany. A serve for Grundig, point for Germany. Pyo Seong-ju seemed to have her feet parallel, not one in front of the other, and then went back with the ball as opposed to moving forwards into it. Let's have a look again. There she was, weight was going backwards, feet parallel, couldn't contain the ball. If your weight gets up on your heels when you're playing, you're in trouble. You need to have the weight going through the balls of your feet. Rattling around, and Germany couldn't get the control they needed, so Korea have the side out. And as most of the game is played through the balls of your feet, especially shoes that the volleyballers wear, designed for that. Designed for the ability to swivel and move and turn. It's great speed. That's a good play from Dirt. Put that into a really good spot. Didn't just go and try and get it into play. Knew exactly where Ortmann was behind her. Her spatial awareness was brilliant. And she's got this dig into a brilliant place where Ortmann can now have the swing. She gets it right through Kim Hee-jin, and Germany take the point. That's got to be Germany's ball. That was on their side of the net, surely, when Kim Hee-jin played that. The referee says no. So they're going to challenge for a net touch. And the reason they're challenging for a net touch is because Kozlowski wants to see this ball and see that it's on his side. So it's a sneaky little look at something you can't challenge to see whether or not the referee is going to change his mind. So the challenge is for a net touch, and what this will let us see, what Kozlowski is hoping to see, is Kim Young-kun play this ball with the ball being on Germany's side. Now the part of the ball could be on Germany's side, but if she contacts it on her side, as in the part of the ball she touches is either on the net, hasn't crossed the plane, when she touches it, then it's fine. That's the important part about this, what she's looking for, and that ball is quite clearly on her side, so absolutely nothing wrong with that at all. Great call from the referee, now borne out by that replay, and Kozlowski will just shuffle back to his coaching position and say no more about it. Oh, and now he's getting a little bit of a telling off via his captain. And Hankey's coming up saying, "Look, coach, you've been naughty, no more shouting, otherwise there'll be a card." And if he gets a yellow card, it's a warning, so no points deducted, but that means it's a warning now. It would be a warning for the whole team, so any other infringement by anybody, and the next thing would be a red card, and that would be a loss of point. And if they were serving at the time, they'd lose the serve. As the referee's not allowed to talk, doesn't talk to anyone but the captain has to relay all messages to any coaching staff if they're the ones that have been in trouble, or any player on the bench if they're the ones that have caught the referee's eye. It's always an interesting dynamic, isn't it, when you get a player having to reprimand their coach via the referee. Good play. There you are with the line shot. Korea have done well. They've got themselves back into this set. Germany side out though, they'll have the lead. They'll keep the advantage. Kim Hee-jin with the serve for Korea. Oh, that's well played. Schertzel did so well. She kept her hand high and literally just snapped her wrist on that very quickly. There's very little arm movement because she didn't want to get through and touch the net. She was that close to it. Excellent swing from Schertzel, which gives Germany the side out and the point. Ortmann now with the serve. Kim came right inside. It was a set that was inside on purpose, not spotted by Germany. It's a super spike she's been accredited with. And this is one where the block has jumped too far. And so Kim had a free hit. Block went too far wide. That's a good pick from Kim. And then when Ortmann comes in on the pipe, she makes sure it stays hit. Both teams are playing well at the moment, and the scoreboard is ticking over inside out. Both teams are in sync and playing some good volleyball. Just the odd blip from the serving line. Good pick up that from Lippmann. Free ball for Korea. 2 front row attackers, 3 backcourt. Pugh not having a really good swing on that. They'll have another chance here though, Korea. Although Kim can't get a swing on it, makes it difficult. Dirk does well to get a hand on it. That's not landed in, but it's off the block. Germany take the point. They worked really hard for that. All from a poor serve receive because Gerties tried to volley it as if it was a regular volley. When you high hands the ball, when you go to volley the ball on serve receive, you don't volley it, you have to keep a stiff fingers, shoulders in front of you, and you attack the ball. You're not trying to take anything out of it and bend your elbows when you set it. It's a very different style of play when you're receiving serve with high hands. We go into the second technical timeout. Germany leading by 2, by 1 set to nothing.
Don't lose quality on the easy ball.
Bitte blocken, 2 Angreifer, wir bleiben immer mit Puls und 4, immer. Okay, kein Problem.
Hawkeye providing us with some information on the setter contact points. That green zone is the ideal place to play the ball, and particularly in the middle of that green zone by the net, where you see that cluster of 5 volleyballs. That's about the ideal place to put the ball because you can then spread it wide and stretch the other team's block. Germany's was, you could see, passing was much better from them, more of them in the green zone. The whole idea of a good pass is that the setter has all attacking options, and if you can get 3 attackers against 3 blockers, then chances are you're going to come out on top. If you've got 4 attackers going against 3 blockers, the chances become even better, provided the setter then makes the right choice of who to put the ball to. Good blocking. Grundig and Lippmann coming up with the block. It's been given a monster block rating, and this is why. Well, I'd say more of a lucky box. He got there late and in time. The ball coming back up and over. Korea unable to cover it. It's a nice swing. It's a net violation against Germany, but Kim Hee-jin finding the corner, just saying the ball a little bit behind her, but actually it's one of the better swings. Led de Jong with the serve. More trouble again. Ortmann really struggling with the high hands serve receive. You can tell she's not really at 100%. Few errors in her play that normally she's very clean with. Good blocking again from Germany. They're making their move now in this second set, opening up this 3-point advantage. Again, you can see there's the bent arms, instead of keeping the straight arms and attacking and stepping through the ball, stiff fingers. Didn't quite work for Ortmann. Oh, brilliant. Lippmann's jumped in on the middle. And you've got a warm-up hit for Kim Hee-jin, and she gets a super spike. Nobody in front of her. No chance at all for Germany with that one. Pyo Seung-ju. Standard swing from Ortmann, showing cross-court, hitting over her shoulder to the line. And it's the way that you run in is where the block sets up, so they have to take away the power. Plenty of room for Ortmann to swing now. Grundig to serve again. Germany still in front by 3. They might make it 4 here. That's not going to happen. Grundig's touch, not the best, but it had come off the block and the direction had changed very quickly. She did well to react and get a hand on the ball. We don't see that very often. Smile from Ortmann because she's not left-handed. But having to hit the ball with a non-dominant hand, sometimes, even at this level, if it's not your normal hand, well, it can often not work. Those of you that play volleyball and you're right-handed, just have a go. Have a go at swinging, even just in your warm-up, and having a hit left-handed, stood on the floor. Then try it in the air. And if you're a lefty, try it with your right. That's much better. You can see the difference straight away, can't you? That's why Ortmann swings with her right hand. All of her footwork is designed for that, with a left, right, left approach, which opens up her hips and enables her to get that torque through the ball. Hips forward, then the shoulder follows, and she delivers a crunching spike. Time that called by Korea.
I told you that for me it's not important if you let a little hole here. But important is that you enter over the net like this. Make his left hand stronger. Left hand.
Issues for Korea's block. Navarini just having a word and saying, look, don't mind the ball's going in that position, I just want you to get in the right place to shut the ball down. This is what Kim's been up to so far. That time, Ortmann hitting away from her body, trying to cut it cross court. Didn't get the contact she wanted, so despite the 7 points, that one will go against her in her overall efficiency. Still, though, not bad for the youngster. Just 20 years of age, Ortmann. Still got at least 10, 12 years of international volleyball ahead of her. Kim Hee-jin with the error. So she'll go off now, and the second part of the double substitution will happen. Jeong Ji-yun, number 22, just come onto court, and now coming on is number 6, An Hei-jin. Set her into the back row, as Korea did in the first set. Ortmann with the serve. Kim wasn't sure where that had gone. Hanka's sure where it's gone. One of the few setters in the game that really does enjoy and relish the opportunity to have a swing on the ball. And why not? It just adds a whole new dynamic, because you have to pay attention. You have to, as the blocker in that position, go and cover. Timeout called by Korea again. Germany 2 points away from having a 2-0 lead.
Jump serve of Ortmann. Jump serve from deep to in. Ready if the ball touch the net.
이게 있다가 네트가 터치하면 앞으로 들어와서 받는 걸 항상 서브를.
To play over is good.
But despite the fact that Korea won this encounter in 2018, and despite the fact that Korea have the better head-to-head by far over Germany, it was evident coming into this game that the way both teams have played this week, Germany would have the edge, and they're certainly making that count here. 25-15 first set, up 23-18 here in the second. And if Korea were to go on and actually win this game, Germany would be bitterly disappointed, given the way that they've been playing. Side out points not an issue for Germany. You expect the other team really to side out and get their point from serve receive. A change up for Germany. Ortmann taking a rest. Barber coming in specifically to pass and play defense. It's unlikely she'll get to the front row here, with only 2 points required for Germany. That's a little bit of confusion. That's a brilliant serve from Kim Yong-kun. She's put that right into that panic channel, that corridor of uncertainty between Lenka Der and Barber. Really good serve. Germany called the timeout.
Eventuell, aufpassen für die Bälle. Bis Besonders, wenn sie probiert, von hier nach hier zu gehen. Kann immer passieren, dass ein Netzkantenroller hier kommt. Okay, so, mit Zuspiel. Nele fängt hier an. Okay, Lenker hier. Jenna hier. So spielen wir den Ball. Wir müssen aufpassen, sie kann das machen und sie kann das machen, okay? Vielleicht, aber ich glaube nicht das. Das. Ist das oder das, okay? Los.
Kozlowski just reminding the team of where they need to stand, the serve receivers, the three of them, making sure that they're not on a line. And you could see he had one slightly in front and the libero in the middle, and then Gerties on the other side. Gerties and Barber slightly in front of Durr, so that means any ball in the middle, there's going to be less confusion as to who will take it. Anker couldn't resist having a swing. It might be costly. That's a good play from Durr. Barber does well, keeps it in play. It's Korea who have the advantage in this rally. Still have a chance. But now Germany have an opportunity. Gerties comes up with the point. She did so well because it was a higher set than she was expecting. She thought that was going to be quicker out to her. She'd gone quicker and then suddenly realised, oh, it's a bit high, but used her height brilliantly to get something on the ball. And it's now set point for Germany. Schertzel with the serve. It's a good serve, free ball for Germany. Two front row options. Hanke goes wide. Gerties again. Good up by Kim. And Korea saves set point with some desperate defending. The captain getting in the way of the ball from Gerties. However, Germany are in a brilliant position here. They've got three opportunities from side out to take this set. Oh, they won't do it like that. Ace serve for Korea. A sorry, not sorry. As that ball hits the net, rolls up it and rolls down it. No chance of getting this. Ooh, almost done it again. Now Germany have perhaps a better chance. Lippmann in a good place. Gets it off the block and away. Germany get the point. They take the set 25-22 and they lead Korea by 2-0 here in Nebraska. They just needed that one good swing opportunity. And then when it came to Lippmann, she did exactly what she's paid to do. Got the point. Her 10th point of the match so far. And that's what you expect of your opposite players. They are go-to players. They are players that generally get a ball when things are a little bit awry. They are the outlet for the team. Lippmann is proving to be very good at that. Kim Hee-jin, on the other hand, for Korea, just 4 points for her. Not so effective. When you have a player like Lippmann in the team who is putting the ball away, it just fills you with confidence. Things just seem to flow that much better. And that feeling that your player's going to put the ball on the floor. Here are the highlights from set two. Here are the stats from that second set. Korea gave it away with their 2 errors. They did get 3 service aces, which kind of then matched up with Germany's 2 block points. Germany outscored Korea, got that extra couple of errors courtesy of Korea, hence the difference. Germany playing with confidence, and the one thing that is evident that Kozlowski's done with the team, there's no pressure on them at all. You can see that the way they're playing, okay, they're making errors, they're still learning, it's still a relatively young squad which is being held together with the experience of Lenka Durr and Denise Hanke, and to a degree Lisa Grunding, but the rest of the players just into their 20s and playing with a great deal of maturity. And Louisa Littmann and Gertie's doing very, very well. Now, if you want to get involved on social media, please do. Hashtag EnjoyVNL. You can go to @FIVB Volleyball, and all of the matches from the VNL men's and women's are on the FIVB Volleyball TV. You can download the app to catch all of those matches. Over 250 of them for this 2019 season. All live, all with commentary. Germany off to the perfect start in this 3rd set, leading 1-0. Gertie's now back to the serving line. That's a great set from Lee Dae-jung to stay out of the net, not go under the 3-meter, the centre line, and it's Korea that eventually come up with the point. Her foot just went over the centre line, but the whole of her foot wasn't over the centre line and on the floor, so no faults. And Korea now have an opportunity to serve. Top swing from Ortmann again. Super spike credited to her. She's over the top of the block, found a gap between it as well, and nobody in position 5 ready to defend this one. Good blocking. That's well played by Ortmann, because she has to line up Schertzel. Schertzel's always looking to link up with the wing blocker, whether it's on the left or right side, and Ortmann knew exactly where that ball was coming. And then once Schertzel joined up with her, there was no chance for Korea to get past that block. Good run of points for Grundig in how she scored them. 2 attacks, 3 blocks, 3 aces. Pretty impressive stuff. That's a good pickup as well from Grundig. No carry caught against Kim. High free ball for Germany. Littmann just snatched at that somewhat, net getting in the way a little bit. And then it is Korea who take full advantage. Jeong Ji-eun getting the ball off the block and out of play. Jeong Ji-eun has come in this 3rd set as a direct replacement for number 4, Kim Hee-jin, in the opposite slot. We're talking about the effectiveness of opposite players as we see Littmann score again. And if your opposite player isn't performing, you have big trouble. That's why Kim Hee-jin has gone to the bench. Only 4 points for her in the match up to the 3rd set. And already, Jeong Ji-eun has 3, and she's only been on for this set, and a couple of points in the previous 2. Seo-wee with a continuation hit, another player who's been substituted in for this 3rd set. Good blocking again, nowhere for Kang Seo-wee to go. Good work from Lenka Durr. Korea, though, getting the ball into transition. But Henke blocking that ball back into Korea territory. Oh dear. Kim has been turned by the ball, and you could see her shoulders move around. She ended up facing the way the ball went. It's an ace serve for Lippmann. The idea when you're passing, you get one shoulder under the other. You could see hers went around, and then she wasn't able to contain the ball. Timeout called by Korea. Germany now leading by 4 points.
What is the second touch or the previous touch better? We must do it
항상
better.
코치 더 잘하려고 하시는
So
패스는 이제
every time the young has to run and to set an eye ball hard, she must to put this eye ball with quality.
이단발 무조건 올 때 최대한 잘할
When
수
you have a
있는
bad ball to attack, you have to see and to choose something better.
In the way that the Volleyball Nations League works, there are 16 teams, and there's a preliminary round where everybody plays everybody, so 15 matches. And then after those 15 matches, you'll have a top 6. If China are in that top 6, they, along with the other 5 teams, will be going to China for the finals. There'll be 2 groups, 2 pools of 3 and crossover semis. If China don't make it into the top 6, then it's the top 5 plus China, as they're the hosts for the finals. Timeout did its job for Korea. They got themselves the side out.
It's in front. Well, no attack.
Just calling out the signals for where she wants her players to attack, the type of sets, the type of runs she wants them to make. Making an odd run is Kang So-wee. She gallops in for her serve. That's off the block, is it? Indeed it is. Touch called. Germany take the side out. Schürzel's been very solid when asked to swing. 8 points for her. Ortmann, jump serve to come. Lee Chua did really well because it wasn't a quick ball out wide. It's a loopy set that gave Germany time to see what was going on. But even so, there was still a gap in the block because Schürzel didn't get out and help Gerties. Henke's front row so she can go up and play that ball. Good up from Durr. And a fabulous swing from Ortmann off the block and away. Excellent play that from Germany. Fighting hard in the rally. And it takes them to the technical timeout with a 4-point lead.
Von hier lang in die 5 reinzukommen.
In 5, you can double block easily. Not like this. It's really close to her and really much more inside. In gym, we need that sometimes your hands can go over the net.
1, 2, 6, viel mehr ins Feld rein. Ja, wir müssen nicht so weit wegwarten, wir müssen, wenn die Bälle drin im Feld sein. Schlägt sie hart lang, okay, sie macht Punkte. Aber alle diese halben Bälle, die haben wir in der Mitte vom Feld, okay? Los.
Ortmann's been playing well. Tall outside hitter. Comes in on a good approach angle and then has options to hit in her approach or change that shot to the line. She's been doing that very well. She's been keeping Korea guessing. Not been brilliant in passing, but it's done enough. He's doing enough for her team. Her team doing enough to stay in front here of Korea. 4 points they lead by in this third set. That could be 5. Good covering then. Park Hyunjin. Oh, big hit at last. Big swing from Kim. Was just saying to Lee Dae-young, I'd like that a little bit higher, please. It's funny, isn't it? There's certain philosophies within volleyball that say actually, no, don't tell the setter what you want. You deal and hit what you get. Because Lee De-Young isn't purposefully trying to make it difficult for her setters, for her hitters. She's trying to make it as easy as possible. That one comes to nothing for Korea. Germany have their side out. Denise Henke. Didn't look overly comfortable when she threw that ball up. Snatched at it. Lippmann also coming up with a big swing. Again, it's Lippmann and Ortmann who have done the job here and are doing the job, I should say, for Germany. Super spike from her. Oh, well played. Like a little bit of a miss hit from Cheong Chi-eun. She doesn't mind though. It's going into the corner where no one was defending, and Korea have the point. Perfect ball in, and that's what you get when you get a perfect ball in. You get the opportunity to swing hard on the ball, and it's so difficult for the defenders. One-on-ones everywhere. 15 points now for Lippmann. It's not been a one-person show, even though Lippmann's got 15 points, Ortmann's got 9, Scherzel's got 8, Grundig's got 8. The middle's been working brilliantly for Germany. Time Lippmann overpowered at the net. Kang So-wee wins the joust. It's a double substitution for Korea. Kim Hee-jin's come in to the front row as the second opposite, and it's number 6, and Hai-jin, who has come in to serve and act as setter. No stopping that one from Lippmann. Just picking exactly where she wanted to put that ball. An excellent angle cross court. It's good covering from Lenka Dern. A nice swing from Lippmann. She now gets to serve. Surprised she doesn't have a jump serve. A jump float serve, though, is just and is very good. I don't know if it's just as good because I've not seen her hit a jump serve, but it's an ace serve from Lippmann. That jump float coming very fast on a flat, straight line. So difficult to know where it's going to land. Easily picked off by Gerties. Scherzel have gone a little too early. Great pick up from Dirt. As soon as Germany had got that into a position where the setter Henke was in a good spot and players were available to hit, it was always going to favour Germany, and Ortmann just wraps it off the block of Kang So-wee in a way. opportunities, let that one go. She knew it was too high, she was never going to get onto it. Kang So-wee doing a brilliant job, but also doing a brilliant job actually was An Hai-jin. She was off and running to make that set. She had her running spikes on, got there in time. Kang So-wee gets the block out. Korea have the point, but they need more of them. They need to try and close this gap. Germany, though, are equal to everything Korea are throwing at them right now. Ortmann with a well-disguised roll shot right into the middle of court. Everyone stood around watching it. Oh, massive swing, almost a brilliant pickup. Can't quite believe it's not stayed in court. A super spike from Kim, but it was almost an epic dig from Der. Barber's in, Ortmann's gone to the bench. Good blocking. Well, the celebrations came early, but in the end they were proved to be valid. The ball coming back off the block, and it was dug, only because it came off the foot of Schertzel. And then you could just see, couldn't you, Park Yoon-jin, ooh, still in play, but not for long. Lee Ju-ah with the serve. Easy lead for Germany. That takes us to the second technical timeout. Germany lead by 5 and by 2 sets to nothing.
Wir können auch unter anderem mal ein B spielen.
Ja.
Weißt du, dass wir mal die Position von Position 4 in ein B und wir gehen schnell diagonal durch, weil der Mittelblocker ist nicht da.
Doesn't do what they can do, what is under their control. And when we don't take risks, this is good. Now, wait, we are trying to play always the big distance. It's good to play the big distance.
Wir haben immer den Ball in 2. Dann, wenn wir merken, wir kommen nicht mit Zeit aus, wir gehen auf und wir spielen genau. Okay? So machen wir es. Los.
Schertzel with the serve. Germany are in a brilliant position in this match at the moment, leading by 2 sets to nothing and up by 5. That one not quite landing in court. Change of libero for Korea. Kim Yong-yeon is in number 16. Acting as the serve receive libero and now also defensive libero. Kim Hee-jin is keeping her place on court. So too is An Hai-jin. But it hasn't changed Korea's fortunes. Nice blocking from Gerties. Monster block for her. Excellent work by Gerties. Anyone who says that in order to play volleyball you have to be tall doesn't know what they're talking about, as that ball is put in by the libero Kim Yong-yeon. Generally it's a position for the smaller players and it gives the opportunity for anyone to play volleyball, as that one hasn't quite gone where it should have done. Korea think there was a net touch. If you're going to be a libero in volleyball, you've got to want to love defending and passing, because that's all you do.
The lady comes first. She say I touch.
So I think there's a net touch here, and it's if there is a net touch, any net touch is a violation unless it's with your hair. Doesn't count. Whoever touched the net will lose the point.
Thing no. The opposite side. Jacob, the other camera, the opposite side. Maybe you can zoom close.
A long wait for this one as they have a very good look at it.
Okay, we're going to repeat the play. The run.
Yep, no problem.
The net's moving, but it was moving already in the rally. So it's going to be a do-over.
You need to read the rules. Yeah, absolutely.
No way through for Korea. Germany increasing their lead. Critique from Der. There's nothing at the moment that the captain Kim can do for Korea. Maybe this time. It's not going to happen. Gerties has to adjust. She doesn't get it off the hand, so Korea take the point. Still a long way back though in this set.
They are talking.
Lippmann with a bruising swing off the block and out. Getting close to the 20-point mark, just 2 away from it. Good blocking. Germany get themselves up to the 20-point mark. Barber doing really well to deny Han Soo-ji. Lee De-Jong's come back in, so too Jeong Ji-eun. Korea keeping their setter in the back row, but it hasn't really helped. That's a wild swing from Jeong Ji-eun. It's starting to fall away here for Korea. Staring at their 8th defeat in the Volleyball Nations League for 2019. Just the 1 victory so far for them against Belgium. It's been given us off the block, although Lippmann's saying they didn't, so there's going to be a challenge. So if it's a successful challenge for Germany, the score will be 22-13. There's no touch. 13. Germany are 3 away from victory. Solid blocking again. Lee De-Jong did everything she could to get the ball into a position that Korea could have a swing, but Germany were just waiting. Barber lining up in order that Grunding could come in and shut things down. Timeout called by Korea.
You don't have to play worried. You must play confident and try to choose the right thing. So now it's happening that you
As
are
we're
always
wondering why the
attacking
score had
straight
changed
in the
after that
direction.
challenge. Initially the point had been awarded to Korea because it had been deemed the ball had come off the block and gone out of play. Germany challenged that decision, and it was shown that the ball didn't hit the block, so it was an error by Korea. So in effect they had lost the point and Germany had won the point, hence going from 21-14 to 22-13. In transition, Korea get a swing away through the middle. Han Soo-ji with her first point of the match. Net touch by Germany. They were chasing that ball out wide really quickly. And as a result, not able to get the block set properly. Caught the net. Korea take the point. This is where Germany need to keep their focus, get off of this rotation straight away, and get themselves ever closer to match point, and that's exactly what they've done. Grunding through the middle, and it is now match point for Germany. Grunding to serve. Kang So-wee keeps Korea in the match. Really knows, though, that their time on court is coming to an end here. Germany with 8 opportunities from side out to get this one done and dusted. And it's Barber who gets it off the block and away. And it is Germany who take the set 25-16. And it is a straight sets victory over Korea, 3-0. And it is Germany's 3rd win of the Volleyball Nations League 2019. A fantastic week 3 for them here, with victories over Brazil and now Korea. For Korea, though, it's been a winless week 3. With defeats to the USA and Brazil, and now this straight sets defeat to Germany. Their chances of making it to the final are very slim indeed, with only 6 matches to go of the preliminary round. And their 1-8 record. It was a business-like performance from Germany. They weren't overawed, they went about their game, they